Hi Virgo, welcome to your January 2018 love reading. It's Raina here, and I'm just shuffling the cards. This is the Morgan Greer deck that somebody said looks like it's from the 70s. And I'm also going to be picking a card from the Whispers of Love deck. So, you know how somebody says something to you and you can't unhear it, or you can't That's that's how I feel. Now I'm thinking like it's like the 70s. Thing. And you know, it's a very popular deck because I think the colors are so vivid and it makes for a very nice spread. There's a kind of an expressionist, you know, it's very cheery. But on the other hand, now somebody has given me a new image, so wow, you got some really cool cards, I think. So let's dig right in. So the heart of the matter is the Ace of Cups. This could be a new love relationship in general. So this could be somebody that you have met, will meet. At the time that I'm recording this, it's December 11th. Maybe this is somebody that you will meet over the holidays and be dealing with as January begins, or maybe meet them then. I don't know. Obviously, this is a general reading, but I like to see in a love reading this as the overall card because it does speak to new beginnings in love. And let's look at the foundation card, which can talk about the past. We have the Death card. So, you know, from death to new beginnings. Okay? From endings, some kind of ending of some situation. Now, who knows when this was? This could have been 6 months ago that you ended your last relationship. The Death card is connected to Scorpio. Unless this person is a Scorpio, which probably would be a good combination for you, given that you're a Virgo. But that could be like the person that he or she is, or that you're coming out of a relationship that has ended. And either way it works, because I don't see, in terms of two people getting along, just going by the sun signs, obviously, that Virgo and Scorpio are compatible. So the card that crosses you is the Chariot. The Chariot is connected to Cancer, the sign of Cancer. The Chariot card can be representing some sort of, I mean, if this is in the challenge position, it's going to be feeling, you know, something out of control. Now, let's say for instance, let's say you left somebody who has problems in their life. Maybe they're out of control and you had to leave them. Just because you leave somebody or you end a relationship doesn't mean that you stop worrying about them, that you don't want the best for them. So whatever the Chariot card represents in that challenge position, whether it's that maybe you feel out of control because you're afraid of falling in love again. I mean, it could be something internal within you. I don't know, but there's something that is kind of interfering with this good news, or this great situation, because there is like, it's unruly. And sometimes I will say that when a love relationship, and this is kind of more of a true love situation since it's the cups, and the cups connect to the emotions. When it's a situation like that, it can be frightening for the person because they may fear that they are going to be hurt again. And the other thing too is if you're a widow or a widower, and the Death card is literally a person who died, and maybe it died 3 years ago, and you haven't dated until you haven't found anybody that you wanted to date, or maybe you weren't ready, And all of a sudden you're ready, but then the fears are coming up and they're just kind of taking over. And yeah, so that's that. And then we have, as a higher message, the Six of Wands is a card of somebody who is, I was going to say that in my mind it said the driver's seat, but this is a card of, what's the word? Well, the phrase is like taking your bows, or taking a bow. Being acknowledged, being, receiving accolades for something. It would be connected a lot of times to career matters, but this is more of the philosophical position. So what I would say, Virgo, is that maybe some of you are afraid of a person really loving you, of really seeing the good in you. Because Virgo, you are a sign that is associated with criticism, with perfectionism. And sometimes if you grew up with criticism, that can kind of trigger that sort of perfectionistic type of mentality. I was going to say OCD. And it's funny, I just wanted to say something because this just shows the insanity that is the internet sometimes. I said something in another video for another sign and I used the word neurotic. And someone wrote to me and they said, I've reported you. You're trying to give out, you shouldn't be pretending to be a psychologist and you're trying to give a diagnosis, which was all bogus, obviously. I never have pretended to be it. So now I'm a little bit afraid of, I've used the term bipolar. Now, I'm not using it in a professional capacity. These words can be used in not just a therapeutic way. You can talk about something in a general way. When I talk about bipolar, I'm talking about extremes. Two polarities, which, just like with Virgo and Pisces, you have that polarity. But sometimes there's not integration, so the polar opposites become more and more exaggerated, and it becomes, these wild swings from one idea to the other. And the same thing when I talk about being neurotic. Now, being neurotic, I don't even think is a professional diagnosis. I think it just means a person who's, the average person having these behaviors or emotions that are don't serve themselves well, but they're not serious enough to be, something else. To be disorders or something, just that generalized, certain traits. And so that's what I'm saying. So when I say these words, please understand, I think most of you do, and who knows what that person's true intention was in saying that. But when I say OCD, perfectionism to me is a form of, it can really get into that. I have the moon in Virgo, so I know about how that held me back. And it was really, what was really wonderful was when I started doing these videos and I started with that nonsense of trying to be a perfectionist and realized, and for some reason I was forced to not be perfect about something. It just made me realize that you really impede your action when you don't take action, and so it's very important to be able to give yourself a break, to know that you're not always going to get it right or not right enough, and that's okay. You know what I mean? It's better than feeling paralyzed in your life. Okay, and so that involves feelings that may be kind of scary. If you're afraid because someone is showing you a lot of affection, a lot of consideration, and this is something that you just got away from in another relationship or something along those lines, you have to trust that you will be able to accept it. You know, it's really about rejecting love, you know, but love for self-love. And the more that you're able to do it, the more you'll be able to receive it and give it. And, oh, there was something else I wanted to say about this. Well, the thing that, too, that I think happens is waiting for the other shoe to drop. If you've come up in an environment where you didn't feel loved, there might have been periods of time when things were going great, and then there was the inevitable downward spiral, right? Or maybe you had a parent who treated you nicely. So it was kind of setting you up for the fall, and then you always got disappointed. So it really does require stepping out on faith, but I do think that anyone should be careful if they're dealing with somebody who is coming on like a Prince Charming or a Princess Charming, whatever the female version is, and they're acting like perfect, and they seem like the perfect partner, and they're just being like so lovey-dovey, but there's like this sense of it's being too soon and things like that. Definitely watch out for those types of people, because they could be, you know, one of those narcissists who try to lure you into the web, and first they act like the perfect partner, and before you get caught up in it, and then they turn. So, but I don't see that with the Ace of Cups. This might be a genuine type of a emotional response from somebody else, and they really care. On the more practical level, we have the Two of Swords. Sometimes this means, well, I think this does always mean that there's a choice that you have to make. So, I mean, I don't see this particularly as choosing between two people, unless the Chariot in reverse is somebody that you're with now, but that you know it's over with. So if that's a Cancer individual or what have you, I'm not sure. Or if, yeah, I don't know. But in any case, it could even be a choice whether or not to love into your life. And the question is a good one. What's coming in is represented by the Knight of Wands. Now, usually I call this guy a good time Charlie or a womanizer. I think this is you, actually. I think that you are, excuse me, deciding to maybe play the field a little bit. Maybe you are, with the Ace of Cups, you are interested, but you're not ready to commit. And so you want to see, especially if there's a fresh ending to a relationship, Virgo, and you don't want to have to deal with that. You don't want to have to deal with commitment issues. And you probably know if this person is the real deal, that they will allow you to have that freedom. Fire energy is freedom, okay? And I mean, this could be a Sagittarius. If this new Ace of Cups person, it could be a Sagittarius that you're dealing with, and that could be the same person. I mean, it's possible, because the outcome is the Ace of Wands, and this is a card of new beginnings, but they are very lively, enthusiastic, life-affirming. That's why they have those leaves coming out, because they represent the new growth. You know, there's a sense of expansion. So with the Ace of Cups, you may feel like this is not just an affair. If I had just gotten these Wands cards, I would say watch out. This could be just like an affair because of the nature of that Knight of Wands person. But I really believe that this person is, like, for instance, whether or not you had a literal death in your past, or if it's just that relationship took a lot out of you, Virgo, this is like new love that is energized, you know, that makes you feel alive, okay? So that is wonderful. So you have two cards of new beginnings and a card of death. You know, the past is over. Well, that's kind of a Yogi Bearism, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what it is with me today. Okay. The first word in this card that I got, the Whispers of Love Oracle cards, was the word pass. So that was kind of interesting. Rest and relaxation is essential. We all have a fundamental need to take breaks. Oh, but wait, what was it? Oh, I thought it said past. It was actually rest. Oops. My bad. Well, that's certainly true. And that's, you know, that's what I'm saying, is that this Knight of Wands situation, you could be deciding, you know what, I am going to revel in my independence right now. And I have this love waiting in the wings, and this person is going to wait for me. I know it. Because if it's real, it's going to be, you know, what do they say? Love is patient, you know, and you probably need somebody to be patient with you because of what you're going through and or what you have been through. So I like it, Virgo. So I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a private love reading where I am looking at your natal chart primarily, I do a tarot spread also, but it's really looking at patterns, looking at, you know, what, you know, sometimes comparing two charts, two people's information to see if you're having doubts about a relationship, whatever. Click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great January. Take care. Bye.